What's up, YouTube? This is Random Nation coming at you real quick, and I have got some story time for you. And I don't want to go too much into the story time right off the rip because I don't want to give it all away. I want you to actually sit here and watch this entire video because it's kind of important with a little bit of a life lesson in there. So, if you don't mind, guys, sit down, buckle up, and get ready for some Random Nation story time. Alright. Yesterday, I slept till about 7 o'clock. As you know, I work third shift at Waffle House, and I usually get up for work around 7 o'clock and go to work about 8 o'clock so that I'm there on time and I have enough time to eat, all that kind of stuff. And on my days off, I treat them no differently, obviously, because of the fact I don't want to get myself to a situation where I'm completely exhausted at work or anything. So if I've got myself on a schedule on sleeping, and I try to keep it that way even on my days off. So, with that being said, this week I've had 5 days off, or have 5 days off. I've actually already took all of them except for today and tomorrow. I have to go back to work 9 o'clock at night. So obviously, you know, today is my last enjoyable day off. But with that being said, yesterday was payday for me. Everybody else at Waffle House gets paid on Thursdays because I got direct deposit and everything. I get it on Tuesdays usually. If it's a holiday week, I don't get it on Tuesdays. I ended up getting on Wednesdays or Thursday morning, which really sucks because when your life is based around paydays Tuesday, paydays Tuesday, paydays Tuesday, paydays Tuesday, that includes your rent, power, water, everything's based on that Tuesday thing. If you don't get paid till Thursday, it kind of messes you all up. Fortunately for me this week, it wasn't late. It was on time. Back to the story, though. I got paid. Decided I wanted to go to Walmart. You know, I do every time I get paid. We always go to Walmart on payday. I don't like Walmart so much anymore for personal reasons, but I'm not going to get into that right now. But we went to Walmart, did a little bit of shopping, you know, nothing serious. We just had to pick up some distilled water for her, and I picked a couple of things up that I needed for making my equipment over here work a little bit better. Every payday I usually add a little something to it to make it all work a little better for what all I need. This week the only thing I think I added was a couple of cords. I think I got a charging cord for my phone because the one I had was only like 3 feet, and obviously with my plug up here on the wall, it's not reaching all the way over here to the bed, so I had to get a 10-foot one to where I can reach it to the bed, and my 3-foot one I have plugged in over here to the computer for whenever just transferring files to the computer.
And breaking news, guys, he quit smoking because of my pneumonia.
Well,
Doctor said it's bad for me.
I quit smoking for a few reasons. One of the reasons, obviously, is because of her pneumonia, because I obviously don't want her to keep getting sick because of me smoking. The second reason is buttheads. The second reason is because the fact that I got tired of just trying to get out of bed and being... It really sucks when you get to that point. And the other reason, you're going to love this. A girl at work wanted to argue with me on this, and she's been smoking for a while or whatever, and she was talking about how she's addicted to smoking, and I don't agree with that. I don't believe in addiction to smoking. I believe the only thing that you're, I guess you can say, if you go with that term, which I don't think it even fits, but you're used to doing this. Okay, it's not so much the smoking part, it's the putting your hand to the mouth and sucking on something. Obviously, that's a force of habit. It's just like playing the guitar, you know, when you learn how to do something and you do it every single day forever, you can walk over to any guitar, pick it up, and start playing it. So, same thing with the cigarette. You just kind of got the force of habit of doing this number. And I broke myself of that habit, sorta. I started vaping because it's better for you by a long shot. A lot of websites try to say otherwise. There's a lot of companies out there that are completely against any kind of smoking at all. So they try to make anything that has to do with any kind of smoking seem horrible. But if you actually go into the government websites and the proven medical websites and look up vaping compared to smoking, obviously vaping is a lot better for you. It's not good for you, but it's better for you. But back to story, because somebody got me sidetracked over here. Usually she's supposed to be over here to keep me from getting sidetracked. She's sidetracking me.
That's a big deal, though.
It is a big deal. It is a big deal. But, yeah, no big deal. With that being said, like I said, we went and done some shopping, bought a few things here and there, nothing big. Then after that, we decided we was going to go to Long John Silver's and get us some food, and it was close to 10 o'clock. And, you know, they were closing soon, so we decided instead of going in like we normally do, we would just get our food and go down to the park, and we did that. They messed up on our food. Big shocker. They always do that. Usually that's why we eat there, is because, you know, when they mess up on your food, you can say, hey, this ain't right, fix it. But amazingly, some reason whenever you eat there, they don't mess up on your food. But if you get it to go, they mess up almost every single time. I guess it's because they have less care when you're taking it to go, because they don't see your face in 10 minutes. They can ignore a phone, okay? That's basically what I'm saying. So, we went down to the park, and there's some ducks down there. We're feeding the ducks our little hush puppies that we have, and, you know, it was great. We got cold, so we decided we was going to eat a little quicker and get out of there, because it was getting really cold. And we went to the gas station. I got a couple of beers, because of the fact I've been having some kidney issues and everything, and I needed to flush them. And I have actually had a doctor tell me that, you know, a beer every once in a while is good to flush your kidneys. I honestly don't like drinking. I can buy a 6-pack of beer and it lasts me a couple of months. Shows how little I drink. But, you know, obviously if I'm going to buy something for my health as far as alcohol wise, I would be better off buying some red wine, because it's better for your heart, kidneys, livers, everything. Which actually I got some. It's in the refrigerator. I just haven't opened it yet. Kind of saving that for a special holiday. Also got some gas. You know, everything was all good. And we proceeded to head home. And normally we take the interstate. And, you know, I want to say it was about 11:20ish. You know, we're going down the road, and we didn't take the interstate this time because, you know, we just wanted to take the scenic route and take a little more time, because it wasn't in a really big rush to get back to the house. The other reason why we went to Walmart is I had to get Amy some medicine. But we decided to take the scenic route, which is, of course, the foot of the mountain. And right before you get to the foot of the mountain, there is a trailer that is sitting on the side of the road that's been, it's not abandoned. The people are working on it because they're fixing it, and then they're going to move it somewhere else. I'm assuming they're going to move it somewhere else, because it left right there. That would just be really odd, because it's not exactly a spot you would stick a trailer, just right there. But, you know, if they do, they do. That's their choice. But that trailer's been there for quite a while, and there's been this black trash bag sitting there in front of this trailer for, I don't know, a good 3-4 months. And it's been on the side of the road. And we go to pass it, and Amy sees what I was assuming was that black trash bag. And she slams on brakes and starts hollering. You know, she's already pretty much delusional because she took some medicine. Love her to death. Told her to wait till we got to the house, but she was coughing real bad, and she took some medicine. And, you know, so I was thinking that she might have, you know, just been seeing things, you know. Saw that trash bag and thought it was something that it wasn't. And she slams on brakes, starts screaming, and I'm like, baby, it was just the trash bag. I wasn't even really paying attention because I'm over there playing with my phone because I'm a nerd and that's all I ever do. And I'm playing with my phone, playing a little Zelda on my phone actually, and you know, she slams on brakes and starts screaming that she just saw something that shouldn't be there. And I'm like, no, it's just a trash bag. But me being me, you know, I'm like, all right, well, you know what, let's just turn around, we'll go back, we'll look real quick just to make sure, because I'd rather make sure than to get down the road and find out that I was wrong. So we turn around, and on the way back, we go to pass it, and I'm like, look, no, it's just that trash bag, you know, because that's what it looked like. You know, it's black, and it, you know, like a trash bag. We turn around and start going back the other direction to head back home, and we get right there at it, probably a good 100 yards from it, and the headlights hit something gray. We're like, that's not the trash bag. We get closer, and it starts coming into focus, and I start realizing what I'm looking at. And, of course, Amy is panicking, because, you know, she don't know what to do. I'm still calm, because I've been through a lot of situations, and I don't panic. And, of course, I see a pair of shoes and a pair of pants, and I realized what I thought was the trash bag was actually a black jacket. And I get out, and I walk up, and realize it's a body laying on the ground on the side of the road. And, of course, I yell at Amy and tell her, hey, go ahead and call 911. And I pull out my phone. And this part right here might sound a little messed up, but once I explain it, you'll understand. Is this body's laying on the side of the road, face down. I can't see his face. I can't see his hands, nothing. You know, so I can't even reach in there to check for a pulse or anything. So, of course, I pull my phone out and I take a few pictures of the body before I touch the body. And the reason is if somebody had dumped that body or somebody hit that body with a car or something, I can give the police that as evidence as to how the body was positioned when I first got there. Because obviously my first thought is I need to at least attempt to check to see if there's a pulse, and if there is a faint pulse or there's no pulse, and if they're still warm, I can at least try to give them CPR, you know, and try to save them. But I was still thinking clearly, so of course I took some pictures. And don't ask, I'm not showing the pictures. I am not Logan Paul. Okay? He's a jackass for doing that. But, you know, I take my pictures and I roll the body up and I realize this body is ice cold. Like, literally reach in your refrigerator, grab a cube of ice. That's how cold the body was. And on top of that, when I went to move the body, I had grabbed the arm, and everybody knows when somebody's just knocked out. If you grab their arm and lift, that's the only thing that's going to move until you get to a certain point. This one, I picked up his arm, and his entire body started rolling. In other words, he'd already set up rigor mortis, so it seemed. And I know that sounds bad, but that's exactly what it looked like. His skin was ice cold. So automatically, in my mind, this is a dead body. So of course I stopped moving it. I did, however, reach down and check for a pulse. There was no pulse. I checked on his throat. There was no pulse. I felt his chest. I listened for air. There was nothing. This man was dead on the side of the road. And Amy's on the phone with 911. I'm over there trying to call 911, but I called, you know, God love Metro. Couldn't dial 911 with my phone. That is supposed to be able to dial 911. Look at that. So I'm sitting there, and I'm, you know, mainly trying to keep Amy away because I don't want her getting too close to the body because, you know, obviously she's went through a lot of stuff in the last year to 2 years, and the last thing she needs is to be around it again. So, but we obviously couldn't just drive off either. You know, we just found a body on the side of the road. So we call 911, or Amy calls 911, and we wouldn't even have stopped if Amy hadn't have said something. So Amy truly is the person of recognition here. So I'm sitting there, and one car pulls past and saw what was going on. They pull into a little road past, and they holler and ask what's going on. We tell them, and they're like, "Oh my God," and then they drive off, because apparently they didn't want to stick around for the dead body. I don't so much blame them. I didn't really want to stick around myself, but it was the right thing to do. A few minutes later, the police officer pulls up, which apparently he wouldn't have been about a mile down the road. And at the same time, this one of the volunteer firefighters, which that's all we have out here. We only have one fire department that I know of that actually pays their firemen out here. The rest of them are all volunteer. And he pulls up, and he walks over and he checks the pulse, and there's no pulse. He's a volunteer firefighter. He has been trained to check pulses. I've been trained. I've went through CPR training, all that stuff, so I know how to check for a pulse. I know how to give CPR, all that kind of stuff. He checks for a pulse. There's no pulse. He feels the body. He says, yes, this man's dead. He concurs with what I say. And, the police officer walks over there and he's talking to him and he's asking me what happened. And I said, I don't know. We just drove by, found the body, tell him what all happened. And I am proceeding to pull my phone up to show him these pictures when I look over and the body's legs start moving. And they were kind of doing this little fluttering thing. And, anybody that knows anything about dead bodies or anatomy knows that sometimes when people die, their nerves tend to fire. Their nerves tend to fire sometimes after they die, which usually it's well before they set up rigor mortis. So that's kind of what I thought it was. I was thinking, okay, well, this guy's legs are moving. It must be his nerves firing in his legs. Basically, his brain dying is the best way to put it. But then I start noticing his hands start moving and his head start moving. And then I noticed he started breathing. The man literally came back from the dead. Right there in front of all of us. And the police officer at this point pulls gloves out of his pocket, starts sticking them on his hand. I walk over there. I'm not worried about gloves. I'm more worried about checking on this man. I walk over there and he's opened his eyes at this point. And I reach down and I'm holding his hand, talking to him while he's, trying to wake up. And of course the police officer and me both are trying to tell the man to, we don't know what happened to the man. We don't know if he was hit by a car or what. So we're telling him, hey, man, stay on the ground. Stay down here. Don't move. You need to relax. Just, stay down here. And, obviously he's in this state of confusion. He knows what happened, but we don't know that he knows what happened. But he's still in a state of confusion, so he's trying to stand up because he's just like, okay, well, I took a little nap. It's time for me to go continue my walk. That's pretty much what was going through his mind. He eventually wakes up to the point he stands up on his own. And, I'm sitting there talking to him, and police officers talking to him. We're all trying to get him to respond to us, and he's just kind of in a zombie-like state. Which kind of has me worried because I've seen a lot of these things where people are in zombie-like states and they go completely stupid and start attacking people. So I'm like, oh God, please don't let this guy be one of those people. But finally, after about 15-20 minutes of us talking to him, he finally kind of shudders off the confusion of what's going on and then says, oh, well, I'm just walking down the road. I have congestive heart failure. I must have passed out again. Again. Keyword. That was keyword again. And, it was like, all right, well, then he lets us know that he has stage 4 stomach cancer, which means he's dying. There's no coming back for him. Which broke my heart when he said that, because that's why he didn't care. He didn't care that he just fell out on the side of the road. He's ready for death. He just wants to die and get it done with. And, we get to talking to him, and apparently he's from Pennsylvania. His name was James. I remember that much because the fact that I have a guy that works for me named James. and we always talk. We're good friends. So I remember his name, first name at least. His last name was something Worth. I don't remember what the first part of it was, so don't ask. Even if I knew, I probably wouldn't tell you the full last name because I wouldn't want people to bother him or his family. But if you want to, you can pray for him because I told him I was going to. But I talked to the police officer and everything, and they're going to, or at least as far as I know when I left, they were going to put him in a hospital, like a mental hospital, because it seemed like he had pretty much given up on life. He's ready to die, basically. But he told us that he was walking from Oxford, Alabama to Pennsylvania to go be with what's left of his family. And I can understand wanting to get to Pennsylvania. Honestly, I wish I had gotten a way to get in touch with the man. He said he didn't have a phone or anything, that kind of stuff, so. But if I had a way to get in touch with him, if I had enough money at the time, I would have went straight from there and took him and got him a bus ticket and got him a trip to up there where his family was. I didn't have the money. And it made me feel really bad that I could not help this man get home to his family, knowing that he's going to die. And the direction he's walking, or trying to walk, if he'd have continued walking that way, he'd have walked into 70 miles of nothingness. Literally. There's nothing out there. No homes, no businesses, nothing. He would have died on the side of the road. Some of those roads, it could be days before a car actually goes down it. And he'd have died out there. And nobody would have found him. And that's not a way to go. He deserves to be home with his family. He deserves to be home with his friends. And I felt so, so bad that I didn't have the money to get him a bus ticket to get him home, to his family at least. But the police officer did say they're going to put him into like a mental rehab type place for a few days at least. Because apparently that was the 5th time he'd done fell out and been on the side of the road like that. And usually when the cops got there, he was nowhere to be found. And they had been looking for him. And if we hadn't found him when we did, he'd probably been laying there dead. I personally believe that us just checking on him and being there for him when he needed somebody gave his spirit enough of a reason to come back, at least for them. So they're going to keep an eye on him for a few days. And Oxford is really good about stuff like this. What's probably going to happen, in fact it's most likely going to happen because the way that the cop was talking to me, they're going to have him in the mental health thing for a few days just to check to make sure that he's not suicidal, obviously. But once he gets released, I can almost bet they're probably for the next few days going to be calling around to some of these donation centers and seeing if they can get enough money donated to get him a bus ticket up to Pennsylvania to his home. So I'm pretty sure they're going to get him home. Because the bus ticket's only like $70. That's all it is. To get this man home. So he can be with his family, his friends, his kids, his wife, whatever he's got up there. But the reason why I'm mentioning all this is Amy and me have set up that thing to where anybody that wants to can donate to helping people out. And this is one of those situations we would have pulled the money off to get that man home. Might not be what some people consider emergency, but wouldn't you want to see your family if you know that you're about to die? Or at least some friends. So, yeah, if we had enough money on that, at that point, we would have pulled that off and used it to get this man home. With that being said, though, everybody has their choices. Everybody has their own opinions on stuff. But if anybody wants to know about what I'm talking about, if you haven't already seen the video, go on to Amy's channel, check out her videos. She has a video on there that talks about, getting donations for helping people that's actually in need. We're not going to give money to people on YouTube that just randomly say, hey, I need money, I need help. I want to say something so bad to those people, but all I can say is I'll pray for you. Don't ask for money like that just because you see somebody collecting donations to help people out. Don't come and just be like, oh, I need help, I need help. Because quite honestly, you're the person that's getting blocked. Don't just ask for money just to ask for money. There's some people out there that have been asking for donations and making up stories and lying. And I'm not saying no names, I'm not pointing nobody out, and it's not against anybody, but they make up stories and they lie and they, come up with all these different lines of bullshit. I'm just going to say it like it is. Just to pull your little heartstrings to where they can get money and donations from you. And the money and donations aren't even going to what they say that it's going to. I know one in particular, the person got a whole bunch of money. I should know, we even donated to them. And, upon further digging, we realized that they were full of shit. And honestly, if we could, we'd have pulled our donation back. But I can promise you with us, if you decide to donate, and you don't have to, I'm not telling anybody to donate to us, because you're not donating to us, you're donating to y'all. You're donating to that person on the side of the road that needs some food. You're donating to that kid that don't have Christmas. You're donating to that person that don't have clothes. You're donating to that person that needs a shower to be able to get a job. You're donating to that person that needs a car to get back and forth to work. You're donating to that person that's about to lose their power because everything's about to get cut off. You're donating to America. You're donating to humans that need help. That truly need help. And when we use the money, you can watch her channel. It's literally going to have a report that shows everything that's pulled off of that card, as well as what it's for. That way there's no confusion as to where the money went. We have had quite a few people already donate, and I want to say thank you. That's very, very selfless of you. I said selfless, not selfish. It's very selfless of you, and we appreciate that. That's what it's like to be a real friend, to be a real person, to not be a hypocrite, to not sit there and say, oh, I love helping people. But as soon as you see somebody that actually needs help, it's, oh, I wish I had the money to help them. And then going out and buying yourself a 12-pack of Coke or, a new phone or a new car, right after you say, I wish I had the money to help them. But priorities, man, priorities. And I have to tell this to people all the time, you got to make sure you get your priorities in order. That new cell phone isn't really that important. Especially if you already have one right there that actually still works. You just don't like it no more. That new hairdo isn't that important. It's nice. It's nice to have. Those new nails aren't that important. Those new pair of shoes aren't that important. Put others before yourself. Put others before yourself. Think about what you would want if you was in their shoes. Put yourself in their shoes for just a couple of seconds. Think about what it'd be like to go without food for 3 or 4 days. Think about what it'd be like to be that man laying on the side of the road dying, hundreds of miles away from your family, with no way to get there. And the only way that you can think to get there is to walk. Knowing that you're probably going to die on the way there. You'll never actually get to see your family. It's a completely true story, guys. There's no lies in it. I just hope that if you heard this video and you actually watched all the way through, that you understand what I'm trying to tell you. Be better than yourself. Don't be the person you was last year. Be the person that you want to be this year. With that being said, guys...
In my video on the change, it's called hashtag Let's Be the Change.
There you go.
It's called hashtag Let's Be the Change. That is the video on the donations.
Hashtags Let's Be the Change. But with that being said, guys, I hope to see y'all on the flip side. I hope everything goes great. Hope everybody has a wonderful day. I'm praying for all of you. If y'all want to pray for James, you can. He said that he wants people to pray for him because that's really the only thing he's got left. So, y'all have a great day. This is Random Nation.